Welcome back to the show. I'm here with President of Perma Brands, Jason Gonsalves. Jason, it's a pleasure to have you, sir.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Now, I shaved last night, and I probably shouldn't have, because I'm here, and I'm going to get some tips on how I could probably have done a better job, right?
Absolutely.
I probably missed a few spots.
Well, you have that little soul patch going on there, so I like that look. But we can show you how to get the whole classic shave action going.
Great, that's fantastic. So, first of all, Perma Brands. Tell us what Perma Brands is before we get into the line of products.
Perma Brands is a distribution company. We are the largest distributor of classic men's shaving products across Canada. We also distribute other products to major retailers, cosmetic brushes, manicure, implements, accessories, and then also do some general merchandising items. But I'm here really to talk about our shaving business. I love this stuff. It's a lot of fun for guys.
I think guys, it's like a rite of passage. You remember with your dad, and he'd give you his like whatever it was back in the day, like a little Bic razor, but he'd leave the guard on. So then you put so half the fun was putting the foam on your face, and then you just kind of went. You didn't have whiskers at the time, right? So you just used the guard, and it was like, hey, I'm with Dad, and I'm shaving.
You know, you hit it though. It's shaving is one of the few rituals that guys have.
It is.
And you know, you think about it, it's something that for some guys it's a terrible experience, but if you do it right with a good wet shaving routine, it can actually be a pleasure every morning. Real, you know, something that's a nice ritual part of your day.
Is this weird that I admit that I actually look forward to shaving? Is this strange? I think a lot
no,
of guys,
it's not.
I think a lot of guys could relate. Right?
I think you're either in the camp where you have a good routine and you enjoy it, or you're doing something wrong, it's painful, and you don't like it at all.
Yeah, or maybe I'm a lucky. Although it's a double-edged thing where I always wanted the fuller beard that other guys have that I don't get. I get like the Johnny Depp scraggly beard that grows out, so I have to keep it pretty tight here. But yeah, so it's something that you always feel so fresh afterwards, and it's a guy's way to exfoliate, right?
Yeah, it's part of the man's grooming ritual, and it's the basis of good skincare for a guy.
Okay, perfect. Well, let's get into some of these products here. These look great.
Okay, so the basis really is about getting a classic wet shave. Okay, and having a good wet shave is all about essentially getting wet. And there's really two components that are important in a good classic wet shave. The first is a good shaving brush.
See, so the brush, that's how you apply the
That's actually how you apply the soap.
The soap,
right? The really shaving soap. So the brush and the soap, which together form a unit. And the second piece is a sharp blade. So let me talk first about the soap, the brush soap piece, and then we'll talk a little bit about blades, because you can kind of go modern or old school on the blades, which I know you're looking for the old school blades there.
It's so cool about the retro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Okay, so when you're looking at a shaving brush, this is kind of your classic shaving brush. So I'll let you hold that one. Here's a big boy here. Basically, the idea is you want to use a shaving brush because the shaving brush does a couple of things. First of all, you use a shaving brush with the soap, and you basically just dip the brush into some water and create the lather. Okay? So that actually creates a huge amount of lather, and you apply it on your face. Now, when you do that, you're really doing two things. One is you're making sure that you're getting huge coverage of moisture all across your face. So every hair in your beard gets wet. The second thing you're doing is you're raising the hairs off your face and making it easier to cut.
Should you kind of go against the grain a little bit?
You're kind of getting a bit of a massage. You're sort of going all along your face, and basically that gives you kind of a great feeling. So what really that does is it prepares your beard in a way that's just way better than any sort of dry shaving or slapping on some cream, because you're raising the hairs and you're really making sure that they get wet, which makes them a lot easier to cut and really improves the experience.
I personally try to shave after a shower or in the shower.
Absolutely.
Actually. I throw the mirror up on the medicine cabinet.
The fogless mirrors.
Exactly. So that softens the hair ahead of time as well. Would you recommend that?
Yeah. The best thing to do is you definitely want to shave either in the shower or after the shower. And the whole concept is you want to shave wet with nice, warm, not hot, but warm water. So that's the first tip, is really use a brush. And the other thing too is from a value perspective. You know, there's a bit more upfront cost with some of the classic shaving. You obviously have to pay for the brush as well as the soap. But what happens is when you use a shaving soap like this, it lasts a year. So you end up, you know, you pay a little bit more up front, but basically the shaving brush plus the soap ends up lasting a lot longer. You get a much better quality product, a much better shave.
There's something more ritualistic about it too. There's something cooler about that, than just going into your hand with some foam, and you know, it feels so artificial. I guess there's something natural about this.
Yeah, it's old school. It's kind of, you know, it's and you can do this really. The funny thing is when you use a brush, you can use any soap basically, and it really works really well.
Okay, perfect. That's great. Okay, so so would you recommend soap as opposed to the foams and the gels that turn into foams?
You have a couple options. You could use a good quality shaving cream, or you could use a good quality shaving soap. But the point is that you want to get away from the sort of foam that you're just slapping on your face and really move to a higher end, good quality, typically English soap.
Get some real lubricant lubricant.
Exactly.
There. Okay, perfect. So what's the next step?
Okay, the next thing is you need a sharp blade.
Yep.
Okay, now here's the controversy. You can go two ways on this.
Okay.
Modern man or old school.
Okay.
Modern guys typically use what are called cartridge blade systems.
Which is what I use, and I make that blade last forever because it costs way too much to replace.
Bingo. So the whole thing is, these include like the Mach 3, the Fusion, the Shix, all of those. The technology is actually pretty good with these, but the problem is exactly what you said. They cost so much that guys will go too long. So what it ends up happening is you end up shaving with a blade that's not really as sharp as it needs to be. That means you end up getting pulling, and you end up getting nicking and a shave that's inferior. So the deal is really, I want to talk about a great new product that's just been introduced to the Canadian market. It's called Razorpit. And what it is it's a razor blade sharpener.
Nice.
And basically, if you feel it, it's sort of a silicone surface. And the deal is that after you finish shaving, you apply a little bit of shaving cream or whatever to the surface. And you just press down. Because it's soft, all the blades make contact, and you just rub against the grain. 1, 2, 3,
Key to
4,
rub against the grain.
5 times. The deal basically with this is that the cartridge blade systems, it's not that the blades actually get dull. The issue is that every time you shave with them, you leave a little bit of residue on the edge of the blade, and that kind of cakes on. So after 5 shaves, basically, it's not sharp enough to really give you a good shave.
Okay, that's great. That's good to know.
So this product really, it's a great new product, can save a typical guy up to about $200 a year in cartridges, because you end up going from 3 or 4 good shaves with a single blade up to 150.
Wow. And where can people get this?
It's available online, razorpit.ca, and we also are building out a retailer network across Canada carrying the product, but it's just been launched in the Canadian market.
Perfect. Well, and now let's move along to the classic, the old school, the retro, the cool. And because we're running out of time, so I definitely want us to cover
Okay, so if you want to be like Don Draper or JFK, you got to go old school to these double-edged safety razors. These are made by a company called Merkur in Germany. They're a great product. Basically, put a single blade in here, and ultimately take a little bit longer, but give you a great shave as well.
This is what I'm talking about. I got to go and grab me one of these. So we got to talk after the show.
No problem. We'll set you up.
Well, thanks so much for being here with us. For more information, you go to www.permabrands.com, and when we come back, Alana is getting organized with Organized Zone Incorporated. All right, so would I go?